Alright. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to another review, and this time I'm taking a look at Kingsman: The Golden Circle, which of course is the sequel to Kingsman: The Secret Service, which is a movie from 2015 that I absolutely loved. I saw it 5 times in theaters. It came out at like the perfect time. I think it came out the same weekend as 50 Shades of Grey, and at that point there was like nothing else that was really good out, and like even a week after that I'm pretty sure there wasn't that much stuff out, so it came out at a perfect time because it was such a fun, really awesome like satire of spy movies, but it also was its own movie. It was a great action film with some amazing action scenes, including one in a church that is still top 5 best action scenes of all fucking time. So good. And I love that movie. I saw it 5 times in theaters. I love it, okay? I saw it more than a dozen times. You know, when I got that Blu-ray, I saw it twice again in the same day. So do not question me about my love for that fucking first movie, alright? So I was so pumped for a sequel. I was like, you know what, this should get a sequel. So most of the times when a movie's so perfect to me, I was like, you know what, we don't need a sequel. You know, Mad Max Fury Road, I mean, I would love to see a sequel. We don't need a sequel. Kingsman, I felt like there's a lot more to explore. Kind of like with a John Wick. John Wick Chapter 2 expanded this universe that they already set up the groundwork in the first movie. I could see Kingsman doing the same thing. So after I saw John Wick 2, I was like, oh, I hope Kingsman does the same thing. It didn't. It didn't. Now, I know I'm making it seem like I didn't like the movie. I did like it. I just wanted to like it more. I just really wanted to like it more. I wanted to love it like I love the original. You know, this is still Matthew Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn has yet to make a really bad movie, in my opinion. You know, maybe he produced a couple bad ones, Fantastic Four, but he hasn't directed anything that was bad, or even wrote anything bad, in my opinion. So I was really excited because hey, he has a winning streak, and this isn't a bad film. But it is a huge disappointment compared to the original movie. The original movie is such a great satire, but not only that, it's a satire on spy movies, but it's a great spy movie with great characters, wonderful action scenes. Oh my god, it's a beautifully shot film at times, and it is a movie with heart and charm and characters, and it's just something that shouldn't be turned into just goofy bullshit, the movie, you know? It had goofy stuff, don't get me wrong, but it was there for a reason. It was there to kind of satirize the spy genre, especially the Roger Moore James Bond movies, and how goofy they got with their gadgets and stuff. It was a satire. It was really well done. It was smart. It was really entertaining, and it wasn't 2.5 hours long. It was barely 2 hours. It was like maybe 2 hours, maybe it was like an hour and 50 like something minutes. It went by quick. I wanted to see it immediately again, and I didn't feel fatigued by it at all. This movie, by the time I was done, I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I didn't leave this movie energetic and like, yeah, I want to be fucking British. I want to murder people. Not that you would want to. Like, the first movie's all about being a gentleman and stuff, but you get what I mean. Like, that first movie had so many great scenes, so many wonderful scenes, so many likable characters, and for the most part those likable characters are still likable here, but they add so many more characters that you just can't really relate or even just like any of them, you know. Especially since like Channing Tatum comes in and he's in it for 5 minutes and he's gone. Jeff Bridges comes in and he's playing his Rooster Cogburn and he's gone. And then Halle Berry shows up and she's just staring at a screen for the entire movie. Then she's gone. And the only one that really made any impression that was new here was Pedro Pascal's character, who's not even really, he's not even advertised as being in the movie. Like, you see him in the trailer, but when you look at the poster, his name's nowhere to be seen. You know, not even Julianne Moore was really that memorable here, and she's the villain. You're supposed to have a great villain. I love Julianne Moore. I really do. I always have, and I really like her in this movie. She's really fun. She's playing this weird role that she never usually plays. You never see her really as the villain, and even when you do see her as a villain, you're not seeing this kind of villain. She's disturbed, that's for sure, and she plays it kind of like a 50s sitcom mom or something like that, where she's always happy and chipper, but there's always this like deep underlying like just disturbing thing about her, and then she does something disturbing and you're just like, oh Jesus. But she's not in the movie that much, which is why I would say she's not that memorable, because she's in the movie maybe 10 maybe 12 minutes. I'm giving it a lot of leeway, and it's considering she's the villain and it's a 2.5-hour movie. She's the main threat. I don't know. And even like at the end, there's a little plot reveal where you're just like, that character really was useless. Okay, all right. And that really is the problem with this movie, is that it really introduces way too many characters, and then they're just gone. They're just stereotypes. Really, Channing Tatum's a stereotype. He spits tobacco out, and he talks in a funny country accent. So does Pedro Pascal, but you actually see him a lot in the movie. You actually get a sense for his character. And then later on, there's a reveal where you're like, okay, I mean, it's a silly reveal, but at least you get to know more about his character. And he has a cool little whip. Channing Tatum's barely in this movie. He's barely in it. He's in it for like literally 5 minutes. It really is kind of a shame that they waste so many different characters that they could have really fleshed out. Everybody is good in the movie. That's the problem too. Everybody's good, so you really do want to see more of them. But what you get is good, just not satisfying. I really love Taron Egerton. I think he's a great actor. He's really shaping up to be a really charismatic leading man. And really, he is the leading man in this movie, because when Colin Firth shows up, which is not a spoiler, he's in every trailer. So when he shows up, it's like 45 minutes into the movie. So you're not going to have him for much of the movie. And when he shows up, it's kind of disappointing what they do with his character. Also, the way they bring him back, because I'm not going to spoil what happened in the first movie. Let's just say he died. So he comes back, and it's so disappointing what they did. It's just so goofy. This movie is just over-the-top goofy, and I just didn't care for the over-the-top goofiness of it. And I maybe would have been okay with it if there was some satire to it, but it just didn't feel like it. It felt like Matthew Vaughn thought most of the people that liked the movie liked it because it was goofy, not because it was a satire on goofy stuff, while also being goofy itself. So he's just like, get rid of the satire stuff. Let's just be goofy. And at this point, it's just way too over the top, way too cartoonish. Did I still have fun with it? Yes. There's some great action scenes here. There's a beginning car chase in the movie that, I referenced John Wick earlier. Actually reminded me of the beginning car chase in John Wick 2. Reminded me of that a little bit. And there's a lot of really awesome action scenes throughout, especially with Pedro Pascal, with he's flipping his revolver around and shooting people while doing that and stuff, and he's using a lasso. There's some really good action scenes here, especially towards the end too. There's a whole fight scene where I'm not going to spoil what the song is they use, but it actually fits very well with what's happening. It's like pretty much the final fight scene. And it's really good. So nothing here tops the church scene, as you can tell you right here, but the kinetic energy of the action, how well it's filmed, and the stylized look of it is still there from the original. It's just not as good as the original is the problem. So the action is still really good. It's very well filmed, very stylish. The special effects themselves are definitely over the top and very goofy looking. They definitely don't look realistic, but it kind of works with the movie, especially since it's going for a way more cartoonish feel than the original, so it works for the movie. The acting is really solid. There are some really funny jokes, and I didn't have a terrible time. It was way too long. I feel like it should have been maybe an hour and 45 minutes, maybe even shorter than the original movie. The original movie kept up its runtime by having Eggsy do all this training stuff and whatnot, and then do the final fight stuff towards the end. And they were building the relationship between him and Harry Hart, Colin Firth's character, and that's why that movie really works, in my opinion. This one, you don't really get that, so it's just really a lot of silly moments where we gotta go talk to the Statesman, which is the Kingsman version for America and stuff. And they're drinking whiskey, and they're being American, and they're farting around and shit, and they're stupid, and Matthew Vaughn doesn't like us Americans. And I'm not even sure. Is he British or is he American? I don't even know. I think he's British. But if he's American, I don't think he likes us. He doesn't like his own kind. Okay? Well, don't come around here then, boy. Alright? I still like you, though. Make more movies. Just don't do this cartoony shit. I hope he's going to see this criticism and go, okay, maybe I should reel it back and make it less dumb. That's not to say I didn't like the dumb stuff. I went in expecting it to be way more dumb than the original because of the reviews. That is the positive thing about reading reviews ahead of time. You can situate yourself and go, okay, this is what I'm going in to expect, okay? And you can just sit there and go, okay, I accept it for what it is. It's goofy, way more goofy than the original. I know I've said that over and over again, but really, I'm trying to nail it in your head. This movie is way more over the top than the original. There's a whole scene with Elton John. Elton John is a big part of this movie. He plays himself, and he karate fights a couple of bodyguards. Right there, if you think that's fucking retarded, don't see the movie, because you're going to think all the other, the 2 hours before that is dumb too. It's a movie that has problems, okay? It does. It's way too over the top, and some of the characters just, like, disappear for long stretches of time, and there is times where when there's no action stuff, it just drags and drags, and the villain is not memorable, and it feels confused at times. It just feels like it doesn't know what it wants to do. Like, I don't know. And also, like, just little things, like, the whole thing about Colin Firth's character, Galahad or Harry, coming back is just so... The way they do it is so uneventful, and it really kind of ruins the way the original movie gave his character a nice fitting end, I guess. And not really a fitting, but a very dramatic end. It really does kind of ruin that moment for me. So I still liked it. I did. I know I feel very, like, depressed. I know I sound it and I feel it. But I still liked it. I really did. I know there's going to be a moment when I see this again and I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't like this. But right now, I do like it. I do really enjoy this movie. And thinking back to certain scenes, I'm like, yeah, I want to kind of see this movie again just to see these certain scenes, you know? Pedro Pascal was really likable. I really like this character. Whiskey, I mean, stupid name. All these code names are stupid, but I like this character. And I liked the movie overall. I'm going to give it a 28 out of 40. I gave the original Kingsman like a 38. I probably would have given it a 40 if I did the review after the second time I saw it, because the first time I saw it was a bad theater experience, so that's why I kind of gave it a little less of a score. I would give that original, like, if I reviewed it after the second time, I would give it a 40. I love that movie. But this, I give a 28. It's still fun. It is a fun movie. You'll have a fun time in the theater. I'm sure it's a better experience than fucking American Assassin. So at least see this. If you want to see an action movie this weekend, see this. See this. So anyway, there you go. Thank you. Until next time, goodbye. Maybe we'll get better for the sequel. If there is a sequel.
Manners maketh man.
Do you know what that means?